All right, everyone. So we have another ready or not video here, and we got a lot of comments on our last one, and I was so happy to hear from all of you on what you thought about it. And so we're going to be going into another topic here. This is from GameSpot this time. Ready or not developer Void Interactive faced backlash in June for censoring the game to comply with the console certification process. The developer has defended its choices as not fundamentally altering Ready or Not's violence or its grim tone, but instead making minimal alterations to ensure compliance with the requirements of other platforms. So let's stop there for 1 second. And I want to kind of go back to some of those comments that we got on our last video because I think they were very telling about the divide as to why people are upset. And I agree with some of it. So let's start with the game itself, Ready or Not, in what I think makes it so fun. And when I played it right as it first launched in early access, the reason I loved it so much, it's 100% the theme of the game, right? The feeling of the game. You just, unlike in a lot of different games, like let's take a Call of Duty game for example. Some of the campaigns have been phenomenal, but there's been some really bad ones where you don't, it's like you're in like an action movie. You're not really feeling like the true meaning of war, right? And what war actually is. War is just this terrible, terrible thing. The Call of Duty, a lot of these campaigns, you're not getting that from it. Ready or not, as it pertains to, kind of being a part of a SWAT team, you feel that in every moment. The places you're going, you're dealing with some of the worst people, right? You're taking out these major, major threats, and you're doing it with a group of guys, and you don't want any of them to die, obviously, and you don't want to die yourself. And so it's just that is what makes the game so good. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of cool things that are in there, right? I like how it's all structured. I can't wait to play it again, but that is the best part of the game, right? There's no questions asked. Now, back to like what I was saying with the comments, the divide here is between people who think, okay, they should have just made a console game and not just directly ported it over, right? And so, well, I don't even know if that's the correct, terminology on it, but basically people are upset because they're trying to make it so they could just move it over to the console, and they're editing this version of the game on the PC, whereas they're like, you should have made two separate games to do this. That's where the divide is, versus some people who think this isn't at really a big deal at all, right? So let's keep it moving here, and we'll get on to more of the article. In the wake of the backlash, Void Interactive has released a new statement that clarifies exactly what content has been altered, going as far as to include before and after images to illustrate changes. The statement emphasizes that no major changes have come to Ready or Not shootouts. Players can still sever the limbs of foes with gunfire, and it still includes plenty of blood and guts. However, players can no longer dismember the dead bodies of enemies. Elsewhere, the update removes nudity, softens an illusion of to child sexual abuse material, and replaces a convulsing NPC with a sleeping one. The statement elaborates the effect of gore and violence. Key to the game's immersive realism has not been toned down. We've only made changes where absolutely required and only to the letter of the regulations, no further. And then the article goes on to basically said, here the article goes on to state that people are not happy with it. Some are fine with it, but the reviews went from very positive to mostly negative on Steam. So people are not happy about this. And this is one of those instances where I kind of find myself siding with both times. And I'm going to be playing Ready or Not again, so stay tuned on this channel. I don't know if I'm going to do a full playthrough of it in terms of actually record the playthrough or just do a video of it, but we are going to be going through it again on console, maybe even on PC. I would also love to do that. But I find myself in the middle on this whole thing. And what I mean by that is I completely understand why people are upset about the changes, because like I said, this game is built upon that feeling that it gives you, right? The fact that, okay, we're, whatever our mission is right now, whatever we're doing is we're taking down somebody who's really just a disgusting person, right? Or really a bad person, and we're going to stop them. And there's just so many things about this game that, do that. On the flip side, and I'm interested to see, because like I said, I still haven't played it through with these changes because I think the changes were recent. I'm pretty sure I was gonna play it right after, but I'm pretty sure the changes happened on like July 7th. So I haven't got a chance to actually see them all, and I'm gonna be looking deeper into the statement to see what the exact changes are, right, at piece by piece. But I understand where people may go, look, it's just not that big of a deal, right? It's not the end of the world for this game to have this happen. And so we're not going to, take a game that, think about this. On Steam, it went from mostly positive to mostly negative over this, right? So that's the real question here that I think I just can't get completely down with the other side on this. I just think this is such a great game. There's so many great parts about it. And maybe Void Interactive made a major mistake by doing it this way, right? Maybe they made a major mistake, but that doesn't mean that what is otherwise a perfect game that knows exactly what, and I don't mean perfect like there's no flaws. I mean, it's perfect in the sense that if you're looking for this style of game, it hits it out of the park. It does everything else right. I don't know if that should mean that, a game that gets mostly positive reviews is now getting mostly negative. And so we'll see how this goes, right? We'll see what the next updates are. And I'll let you know in a follow-up video, if because yeah, I don't just want to read the statement from them and then say, oh, okay, I don't think it's a big deal or not. I don't know if that's actually going to do it, right? I actually want to be in the game, see the changes for myself in game, and then give my final take on it if it really ruins anything. My guess is it won't. But I do understand why people are upset because you're taking a key part of the game away, right? I mean, in terms of like the key part of the game is the feeling it gives you, the mood it creates, right? All of that is a key part. And if you go too far on that and when you load up a mission, you don't feel like you're going after some really bad dude anymore, that becomes a problem. But I want to be clear, and I haven't played through it yet, right, with these new changes. I actually don't think that that's what this is going to do. I think this is something that people will look back on and go, I wish they didn't do it, but it didn't ruin the game. But I understand people's frustration. So thank you all for watching.